Hey there, how's it going on everyone? In this video, we'll be discovering one of the open source tools that I've been working on for the past couple of months, and it's called PyAction, and it's a tool that enables you to create GitHub Actions using Python. And in this particular video, we'll be discovering a hello world action using PyAction. I've already created that action, so we'll be discovering its source code and the different files and how it actually works. So let's jump into my editor in here. And so here is the um, action structure that PyAction has created for us. And in this directory, we have a few files and a directory here, and we need to discover a few files to find out about PyAction in this particular video. So let's talk about action.yaml file first. This file basically includes the action metadata and descriptions and informations about my action. So its name, its description, its author's name, a bunch of other stuff. And two important parts in here can be named as inputs and outputs. So if your action actually takes any input parameters, like any value, any variable, anything, then you have to define them inside this file under the inputs part. And if your action basically returns something back into the workflow, then you should define them under the outputs name in here. So in this case, my input, other than these two variables, my action basically takes one name input parameter and returns only one output phrase variable. And as you can see, there are a bunch of other files. So the logic base of my action is stored in the main.py file. If I open it up, you can see that there's a function in here. And as you can see, my function basically takes one parameter, which is the input parameters of my action. So if I had a bunch of other inputs in here, like name, first name, last name, or age, anything else, then I had to add them all in here. So since my action basically takes one input parameter named name, we need to define it in here. Also, don't forget to add its type in here. So name is going to be string. And my action basically returns something back into the workflow. So, and it's phrase. So it's actually the same literal thing that we defined in the action outputs part in here. It's phrase. So it actually returns hi followed by the name value. So if you run this action with name like John, then you will be assuming that this action will be returning hi John phrase, and it will be usable in other steps of your workflow. To test this out, one of the coolest coolest features of PyAction is that you can run this action on your local machine with the run command. So before we use the run command, we need to define our action's input parameters. So since our action has only one input parameter called name, we need to define it in the .env file in here. So there's a convention about this file that actually you have to ensure that all your input parameters actually start with input underscore followed by the variable name. So our variable is basically name, and our input parameter will be name underscore input underscore name. So in this case, I'm going to be using my action with the input parameter of name equals to John. So let's run this command, let's run this action locally. To do this, I need to run PyAction run. And if I run this, you can see that my action only returns one one output parameter, if you could say so, which is phrase, and it equals to hi John, and it's a string. And this part is important because it says how you can actually access this variable's value inside your workflow, which is going to be this particular part. So if I needed to actually use this phrase, use this phrase output variable, I needed to use this particular phrase inside my workflow. So let's just jump into GitHub and find out about this action and how it actually works. So before that, we need to let me just explain something to you. And I'm actually using this action inside its repository. It's possible by using this particular convention in here. So as you can see, I'm checking out to my repository and I'm using this action inside my workflow. And as you can see, I have two steps in here other than the checking out part that basically uses this action and with the name of my name. And as you can see, there's an ID applied for this particular step that I will be using this particular ID later in this step to actually retrieve that phrase variable that we defined in our action. So let's run this command. Let's actually run this action on GitHub. And here is the repository. So let's go to Actions tab and select the action. So since it's actually something that gets triggered on any push event, we need to push something to this repository. So let me do a quick push here. Let me just update the README file in here. So I'm gonna change this explanation mark to dot. Added git commit -m updated git push origin main. So as soon as we push our changes to the repository, if I refresh this page, you could see that our action gets triggered. And if I open it up in here, you can see that first it actually runs this step that uses my action and runs our action with the input parameter of my name and then returns this phrase. You could easily utilize any AI library inside your GitHub Actions workflows with this PyAction thing. And yeah, here it is. Also, don't forget to check out PyAction's documentation, as lots of other concepts and different stuff have been explained in there. And yeah, here it is. Thank you so much for watching this video and wish to see you in the next one.